Services webinar today. We've got a really packed agenda, loads of really interesting things to talk about. Jane, if you wouldn't mind just sharing the next slide just to show the agenda and the running order for everyone to see, that would be really great. So as you can see, we've tried to break it up a little bit and to try and keep us all on time, because we know these things can run over, but it's really good to be able to have kind of a really packed agenda. Plus we've got some great opportunities for us to have two-way discussions as well. So lots going on today. If I can just run through a few housekeeping rules, not really rules, just kind of information more than anything. So if you can keep your microphone muted, unless obviously you want to raise your hand and ask a question at some point, but there will be opportunities to have discussions in our breakout sessions, and also we're going to be having a Q&A at the end as well, so plenty of opportunity to have those conversations. And we are going to record the webinar as well, so just to give you a heads up on that, this will be recorded. Just before we get started and I hand over to the team, we are going to do a very quick, literally 30 seconds poll, multiple choice questions. If you can just choose the one that's most relevant to you before we get started, that would be really helpful. It should just pop up in the chat and on the screen now, so hopefully you can all see that. Can I have a thumbs up or a yes from anyone? Can everybody see that popped up to answer? Yeah, fabulous. Thank you, great stuff. So I'll just give you sort of 20 seconds to quickly answer that, and then I'm going to hand over to Paul George. Lovely. Hopefully everyone's managed to quickly make a selection and submit that now. So I'm now going to hand over to Paul, who will introduce the flexibility team here at SPENW. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, Kate, and good morning all. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We've got a nice mix, I can see, from some of the names in the attendee list across the value chain that sit within our flexibility space in the UK. So, as mentioned, my name is Paul George. I'm the DSO commercial lead here at SPENW. I'll introduce the team one by one, but our core focus of everything that we do is around capacity strategy and thinking around how we can release capacity onto our network without the need for the conventional reinforcement. And flexibility services and procurement is one of the key facets of what we do within the business to release that capacity onto the network. And to do that, it's really important that we have a real broad mix of flexibility service providers that we're engaged with and are actively participating in our flexibility tenders. So just a really quick intro into the team. So on the right hand side of myself, you can see James Croft. So James is a flexibility solutions analyst. Again, he's supporting with the creation and the running of our flexibility tenders. We've got Kate Stewart, who also works alongside James. So again, really broad range of activities that James and Kate will do for him. The creation of obviously things, these webinars, marketing collateral, the running of the tenders, the analysis of the bids, the commercial aspect of the tenders, as well as making sure that they run smoothly. We've got Frank, who's not with us today, unfortunately. But again, Frank is really focused on supporting us as a team, but mainly focused on capacity strategies, which involve curtailment and a lot of regulatory reporting as well. We've got Keith, who's in attendance today. Keith is our DSO technical lead, again, supporting our flexible services proposition. Also, he leads on our A&M solution within the business as well. And last but not least, we've got Georgia Anagnostou, flexible solutions engineer, again, vital in terms of the technical expertise that Georgia lends to the flexible services team, and again, supporting the kind of tender creation and the technical qualification of the assets and the bids that we get through in our tenders. So that's a quick run through of the team. Again, just going from the generic into the specific in this. You're all aware who SP Electricity Northwest are. So just in terms of recent acquisitions, you can probably notice a lot of brand changes on the slides. So last year we were acquired by Iberdrola Group, sitting in the Scottish Power family. So we still remain one of the 6 electricity distribution network operators. with a really kind of spread across the the northwest from Cumbria down to Cheshire. So we're supplying power into 2.4 million homes and businesses, serving approximately 5 million people. As you can see from the map on the left-hand side, we fit nicely in terms of being sandwiched in between Scottish Power Transmission and Distribution and the SP ManWeb region as well. So what you'll probably see moving forward now is that now we're kind of fully integrated into the Scottish Power family. We'll be working a lot more closely with our colleagues in SP ManWeb and SP Distribution. We're looking to align our practices as much as physically possible. So again, we will be much more aligned and hopefully building some kind of familiarity in terms of the products and the processes that we offer in our flexibility space. Next slide, please. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm sure you're all very aware, and I'm preaching to converted in terms of what flexibility services are. But we have a range of issues that we're trying to resolve across our network region, and we're looking to tap into our network users through third-party procurement, and we're looking to really help manage those issues on the network with regards to procuring flexibility, which is in its simple sense is around network users adjusting how, when and where they use or generate power across our network. So these services can be provided by industrial commercial companies, aggregators, retail suppliers. So any key player within our region that can either generate more or use less electricity during certain service delivery windows that we specify, we are interested in contracting with them and paying them for that change in behaviour across right across our network. Next slide, please, Jane. So again, really quickly, there's three kind of buckets in terms of what we're looking to tap into. So demand reduction, this can be from kind of EV chargers, it can be from those industrial, commercial or energy resource intensive businesses, either turning off or shifting their processes. It can be through controlling heating or cooling systems, so ultimately reducing that demand on the grid at certain times that we specify during our tenders. There's generation, so there's that flexible generation of either behind the meter or front of meter assets. Could be renewable generation, it can be BESS solutions, battery storage, or we can even leverage the ability of standby generation. So we have organisations that sit on our network that need to run standby generation at certain times of the year to make sure they're compliant with their license conditions. Again, we're trying to have conversations with people who need to do that. I'm suggesting that they could run that standby generation during times of stress on our network. They can also play into the flexibility tenders. And then last but not least, energy efficiency. So this is quite unique to us as a DSO in the sense that I believe we are the only DSO that offers that peak reduction energy efficiency product within our tenders. So this is really for, it lends itself very well to kind of businesses that don't have any generation, flexible generation, don't really have any big sort of demand reduction opportunities within their business. So it could be warehouses, commercial office space. They could be looking at, retrofitting LED lighting, looking at installing solar panels, looking at building fabric and building insulation or modernising equipment. So anything that reduces their peak demand on the network over a certain period of time, we're looking to encourage that and commercialise it as well. So they're the three kind of buckets or themes of flexibility that we're looking to incorporate into our tenders. Again, you can see a really kind of broad range in terms of how it fits across the range of FSPs that we've got in our space and on the call today. So I'm going to hand over to James now, who's going to talk you through specifically our latest requirements of our summer 2026 tender.
Thanks very much, Paul. Next slide, please, Jane. Thank you. So yeah, just quick summary of the sort of key numbers in this latest tender. So we've got 424 requirements spread out over 217 different locations across our area. I'll come on to the sort of split of that in a moment. We're asking for 779 megawatts of flexible capacity, and that is spread over a 2-year period. So that's either winter and summer blocks or financial year blocks going out to the end of ED2. So March 2028, and there's more than £14 million available for the delivery of that flexibility. I think another thing to highlight is that we have 4 megawatts of LV flexibility across 141 different locations this time. So we're helping to facilitate the growth of residential flexibility and energy efficiency markets. These low voltage requirements can be delivered via 2 flexibility products, peak reduction and scheduled utilization. I'll come on to those a little bit later. Next slide, please, Jane. So here's split across our sort of 3 main areas. So there's £6.5 million available for providing flex in the Cumbria area. That's over 73 different requirements. We're asking for 382 megawatts there. Lancashire, you can see a bit different, only asking for 61 megawatts there, but that's spread across 102 requirements, and there is nearly 2.3 million available there. And then in Greater Manchester, a bit more urbanised, there's 5.5 million available, spread across quite a number of requirements there. I'm asking for 336 megawatts. Next slide, please, Jane. So taking part in this summer tender, and I know a lot of you will already know this, but I'll take you through the process quickly. So the first thing to do is to create an account with our IT platform provider, Electron Connect. The second stage is to submit a commercial qualification application that would be due at the end of this month. So you'll be able to find a template on Electron Connect to fill out for that. Once that is done, you'll then need to sign our standard framework agreement if you have not already done so. That's the legal document. It is consistent across all DNOs within the UK. After that, it's registering and uploading the assets you wish to put into the tender. They'll need to be technically qualified, make sure that they're safe to play into the tender, and then it's a case of submitting bids when the bidding window opens on the 7th of September. Next slide, please, Jane. So a bit more about how we run things in terms of the tenders. I'm going to sort of work right to left here. So we run 2 sort of larger long-term biannual tenders. So we just kicked off the summer one in June. The next one will be kicked off in November later this year. They run over roughly a 3 to 4 month period, and we have requirements across all voltage levels of our networks. We ask for 4 different product types, so you can see those listed. I'll come onto those in a bit more detail shortly. And the delivery requirements are shown out to the end of the ED2 period currently. Alongside these, we have recurring tenders every month. So these only last 3 weeks from launch to the contract award. Bidding's open for 10 working days and closes sort of middle of the month. Requirements, again, are across all of our voltage levels, but we only procure 3 prototypes currently in the monthly tenders, so we do not look for variable availability and operational utilization, but we do still ask for peak reduction, scheduled utilization, and operational utilization. And delivery is for the following month. Next slide, please. Okay, so we are procuring 4 flexibility products, as I said, for the summer tender currently. So we have the scheduled products, so peak reduction, just reduce peak power over time. Scheduled utilization is where you follow more of a sort of program of time. So we might ask you to reduce your demand between 7 and 9 in the morning and 4 and 7 in the evening, for example, with scheduled utilization. And that's sort of agreed at trade upon bidding. And then we have the operational side. So we have these two products you can see on screen there, and that's where we would send a signal to actually ask you to deliver flexibility close to real time. So operational utilization, we typically use that for things like storm events or recovering from faults. And these three at the bottom, ignoring the top one for now, they're all paid on a pounds per megawatt hour basis. And then the top option, there's two different payment types. So you can be paid for being available for windows of time, and then you can get paid on top of that if we do ask you to dispatch flexibility for us. We are considering looking at the fifth ENA product, SAOU, so that might be something to be discussed later on when we get a chance in the breakout rooms. Now, I believe I'm about to take control of the screen, Jane, to show a little sneak preview of a tool we've got in development. So if you just bear with me a second. Has that worked? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, super. So like I say, this is a bit of a sneak preview. It's not published on our website yet. It's still sort of going through final checks. Well, this is a tool we've developed to hopefully help yourselves, FSPs, in conveying the sort of financial possibilities to your customers. So on this data input sheet, you would put in certain information such as the postcode, the site, the competition, the type, the period, so winter 26, 27 here, what service type. These are all drop down, so you'll know what you can and can't put in. Then a bit of details about a site you're particularly interested in looking at. So here's an example with a hospital, certain floor area, and annual consumption information will be needed, the heating system, and then some details about potential assets such as solar and batteries that you might be looking to install, and planned energy efficiency savings, LED lights and stuff like that Paul discussed earlier. And so it spits out this convenient number at the bottom saying potential income from providing flexibility there. So we hope that that can help you guys in explaining the financials to potential customers to get more assets on board. There's one other tab worth noting at this point as well, this results tab. So there's a bit of a space here where you can play with bid details in terms of the availability, utilization, pricing, and the capacity on offer. And there's a few different graphs down here that sort of explain the impact of the flexibility on the electricity demand across winter, weekdays, weekends, and the various different seasons. So just a sneak preview of potentially what's coming soon. I think we're looking to potentially include this for the summer tender, but can't confirm that just yet. But yeah, at that point, I'm just going to stop sharing and hand back to Jane. Thanks, Jane. So I'm going to hand you over in a moment to Emilis from Electron. He helps us with the whole end-to-end process with their platform Electron Connect, from that initial registration through to the dispatch of flexibility and yourselves getting settled and paid for that. So I'll hand over to Emilis now.
Thank you, James. Yeah, next slide, please. Thank you. And I guess, yeah, maybe, yeah, thanks. Yeah, great. Yeah, so, yeah, hi, my name is Emilis. I'm a senior product manager at Electron. Electron. And I guess I'll just start by doing a quick overview of what we do and who we are for those that aren't that familiar. So we are a flex market platform provider operating and based in the UK. We currently work with 3 out of 6 UK DSOs, so ENW, SSEN, and SPEN as of this year. I guess, we're operating since 2024. So this is when we launched our first UK sort of DSO deployment, and that was actually with ENW. They're our very first customer, and now we're still kind of working with them. And I guess over these last couple of years, we have seen quite a good growth across all our markets, both in terms of, I guess, contracted and accepted megawatt hours, and also registered flex, which then results in direct benefits to flex providers for dispatching flex and for reserve flex as well. So yeah, that is us. Next slide, please. Thanks. So I think James already covered this in a lot of detail, so maybe I won't repeat too much of it, but I guess I can just reiterate that ENW provides 2 routes to market for flexibility service providers, giving them options to participate in the way that kind of works best for them and their assets. So as James just mentioned, obviously the current longer term tender, the summer tender, is now kind of active, and that's a biannual tender round. So that basically provides longer term contracts and might be suitable for FSPs that are looking for that longer term revenue visibility and certainty. And then also, as James mentioned, month ahead tenders are also available, and these are basically procured 1 month before delivery, and they offer more frequent opportunities to participate and potentially could be more suitable for those FSPs that do not want to lock into longer term contracts and prefer sort of near real-time participation. And yeah, I think that's probably it. So next slide, please. Yeah, and now I guess I'll just briefly walk you through Electron Connect roadmap. So obviously it is directional and it is subject to change, but it is very much based on the FSP feedback we receive every day. And so we very much appreciate that. And if you have more thoughts or questions or just general ideas of how we could improve the platform, please keep feeding that feedback to us. We very much appreciate that. So the roadmap is basically split into 3 sections. So what's happening now, what's coming next, and some of the longer term plans. So starting with the now column, I think recently the most significant additions to our platform were around API participation and API functionality. So flex service providers now can submit meter readings via API, and they can also manage and operate groups, also to some people may be known as meterable units, via API as well. We have also been improving our FSP notifications, and there's more to come on that. So essentially there will be more notifications triggered by the platform, and they will take users to the platform and provide all the relevant information on there to make it a little bit easier to extract the data and also be able to link back sort of notifications to specific actions on the platform. Another interesting addition is what we call a pre-filled bidding template. So it's basically this new feature which supports flex providers during the bidding stage, and you'll be able to try it out in the summer tender round if you're taking part. The idea here is that the platform can generate a template with all the relevant bidding information, that being market names, asset names that are eligible, etc. Also price guides, things like that. And that means that all you need to do is to specify the capacity that you want to bid with and the price. So that's meant to simplify participation and make the process more seamless. Now, in the next column, we have a couple of interesting developments as well. So I'd say that I think the most exciting one is probably the automated technical qualification feature. The idea here is that we are looking to fully automate the MPAN checking process. And this means that FSPs will no longer need to wait to get their assets checked and technically qualified. The process will happen automatically via a direct integration with ENW systems. It's in development now, being tested, and we'll be hopefully announcing it in the next couple of months. Other improvements include sort of improved visibility of prices that are accepted on our platform, and that's likely to extend to all FSP, so anyone basically can see anyone's prices. So we're looking to publish more information on that. We have been asked for this for some time now. We're also looking to make improvements to our settlement process, and that will include the ability to sort of pre-fill baseline and meter data templates, just to really help FSPs identify sort of the gaps where the data is missing. And we're also looking to make improvements to settlement for batteries as well. So that's in the next column, and then the longer term considerations are really about sort of what we call half-hourly requirements. So this idea that flex service providers could have more options when they're bidding into tenders, giving them the ability to specify which windows they want to participate in. And the idea is that that could be done half-hourly. So we're looking into that as well. And we're also, obviously, I guess, some people will probably be aware, but the Flexibility Market Asset Registration Initiative is very much underway. It's led by Elexon, and obviously that will mean some changes to how FSPs participate in markets. We're actively involved in that process as well. And once, I suppose, more information comes out, we'll be looking to obviously also support FSPs on the change. We'll be making changes to our platform as well to integrate with the FMAR system to make the registration process more seamless. And yeah, I think that is probably everything. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kate. I'm going to talk you all through our online resources and tools. So I'm just going to take control of the slides. So hi everyone, I'm going to talk you through where we publish all of our data and helpful guides and tools, because we publish them in a few different places. So as Emilis just explained, we publish our requirements on the Electron Connect platform, but you can also find them on our SP-ENW website, along with our Open Data Portal and our new Flexibility Hub that sits on the Open Data Portal. So just to explain what you can find where and the differences between the three. So starting with our main website, this is where we first started publishing all of our requirements and tools. And since then, we have developed the Open Data Portal. So you can still find everything you need on our website. We try to publish as much as possible. If there's anything you can think of that's missing, please do let us know. We're always trying to improve our data offering. But starting with our document library, we do publish our Ofgem SLC 31E reporting there. So you can find our statement and reports, and you can also find our document archive that has all of our previously published publications as well. So it also includes our helpful guides. So this would be things like our commercial qualification criteria document, product parameters, and revenue stacking information. So things like that. You can also find our latest tender requirements. So this includes our biannual and monthly tenders. So as you can see from the screenshot, that's on the main page. So they're easy to find. And if you click into each of those, it has all the information on what you need to participate, how to go about it, and all the steps and timelines and everything. It also includes our tender invitation to tender documents. So the invitation to tender sets out the terms and conditions of the procurement process of each tender. And then the standard agreement is signed during the commercial qualification process on Electron. That is our framework agreement, and it's it's utilised by all UK DNOs. It also has our technical specification, which sets out the technical requirements of the asset that's required to participate. We have our site requirements, which is basically all of our tender requirements, but in table format if you would rather view them in a table. And we also publish our half-hourly requirements for the duration of the tender. So that's the forecasted half-hourly requirements. We also publish helpful tools to participate. This includes the postcode checker tool, where you can input your postcode and it will instantly tell you whether your asset falls within a requirement zone. And our cost calculator tool, which is really useful to use before the bidding window opens, so that you can calculate a bid price that will sit within our ceiling price, so your bid isn't rejected. We have an FAQs page that includes pretty much everything that we get asked on a weekly basis. We try to include everything. It includes energy efficiency, technical, and general as well. We have quite a new Flex provider page. That's everyone that we partner with currently. I know a lot of you are on this call, so you are featured on that page, and it gives information on each of those companies. And then we also publish use cases. So they are scenario-based examples, kind of describing the end-to-end process and what participation looks like in practice. And there's lots of different use cases on there, ranging from homeowners to supermarkets, and it includes all of our different products as well. So that can be really useful. And next slide, please, Jane. So this is our open data portal. So there is a link to this on our main page on our website. It includes all of our data that we publish, all of our flexible services data. There's a list there that you can see. So it includes monthly and biannual data, but also historical data. So you can go on there and check everything that we've procured and dispatched to date. If you're looking for more historical data, we have all of our half-hourly data on there for the anticipated requirement, and that's by substation. And so, yeah, you can see all of it in a range of different formats and also via API. So you can download, you can overlay it with your own data sets. So that's kind of mainly what the open data portal would be used for. But I'm just going to demo our new flexibility hub, because that actually consolidates all of this information into one platform. So this is on our open data portal, and I specifically want to show where you can find the new flexibility hub. It's on, if you go to this top bar here, it's the dedicated pages tab. So if you click on that, you will arrive on this page, and then you need to just scroll down a tiny bit to where this white box is, and it says new SPE&W Flexibility Hub. So if you click on that, it will open our new hub. So hopefully everyone can see that. I assume it's still showing in the new tab. But as you can see here, this has brought together everything that's on our website and our open data portal all into one place. It's a way to make it easier for users. It's more user-friendly. It's more interactive. And it means that you don't have to open a million different Excel spreadsheets to find the information that you are looking for. And it also highlights our low voltage opportunities more. It's easier to find those. And if you look on the left-hand side here, you can search by postcode. So for instance, if you put in, if I put in a postcode there, the requirements in that postcode. And it will also show you the voltage levels. So as you can see, it has removed the other two options. So I'm left with that one. And then you can also select your preferred product. So this hub is a really good way of giving you the information that you need. It's just consolidating all of our tools and information in one place. So by putting in your postcode, it's showing you instantly whether you are eligible to participate, and then you can scroll down and refine your search even more. So if I want to put in, say, peak reduction. So there you can see it's reduced the requirements by a bit more. And then if I want to participate next year, I'll put in winter 27-28. And then you can also specify your minimum bid price and utilization price as well. So there's a little swivel bar here that you can put in, and it will let you know whether those requirements are within that ceiling price. At the bottom here, you can see there is, it's all in table format. So you've got the table, you've got the visual map. And if I scroll to the top here, I'll just quickly go through these. You've got all the explanations of all the fields and biannual and monthly tenders. You've got an overview of our tender process, which James talked you through earlier. That's available here as well. We've also got our use cases. So if you want to quickly sort of check our different products and how they work, you can easily find them there. We also have our FAQs page and all of our tender documents and tools. So we really hope you find this new Flexibility Hub useful. And because it is new, we would really appreciate any feedback you have once you start using it. So please do let us know what you think. And yeah, I think that's everything. I'm going to hand you back to Jane or Kate to launch our breakout rooms now. So see you in a minute. Thanks.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah, so in just a moment, you will be added to breakout room 1 or breakout room 2, and that will happen automatically. And there we've got hosts Paul, Kate, James, going to be talking you through some questions and just having sort of some great conversations. So if you can just bear with me, that will happen very shortly, and you will just all disappear into your rooms. So just give me a moment. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So I appreciate that was probably a bit of an abrupt end into the breakout rooms. So Aaron, I appreciate you were in full flow then, but yeah, nice to meet you again. We can pick up again. I did see the slides that you sent through to Catherine, which I thought were really interesting, by the way.
Great, thank you.
So we can pick up on that. So yeah, so that half an hour went really quick. So I suppose what we're going to spend the next kind of 15 minutes doing was to thank you all for your participation in the breakout rooms. There was some really useful information certainly that were captured in my group, which I'll share with you, and hopefully we can get some insight to what happened in kind of the other group, and then we'll just close out the session with any Q&A. So in terms of the breakout room that I was in, we had a real kind of mix of different people in the room. I think some of the key themes that we heard loud and clear was we had some new people to Flexibility that were interested in kind of learning more, not participated in the past. So that was useful to kind of put some names to some faces and arrange for some, dedicated one-on-one sessions and kind of bring up to speed. So there was less on that in terms of current products and processes that don't work. But I think the two main themes that came out of our group was that we've got the biannual tenders and the monthly tenders. Now, we asked the question, would it help if at the minute we release our monthly tender for August delivery in July? We asked the question, would it help if we were to put, monthly tenders with a 2 or 3 month window in advance? So you can kind of see what we're looking for in September and October. And that was met quite positively across the group, especially from those that were, looking to tap into, LV Flex or domestic flexibility. So giving, their asset owners a bit more of a window into what that delivery period might look like. And I think the other resounding theme that came from the group was thinking about the FSP's interaction with our platform provider. So Electron Connect that MLS represents. I think, we've got this, kind of end-to-end journey from commercial qualification right the way through to, bidding into settlement, into paying providers for the flex that they've delivered. And, the big theme was around automation. So it's making sure we can remove the burden as much as possible right the way through. So all the kind of links in the chain of removing the burden from flex providers, to automating the process, to thinking about API integration. That was one of the key things. So as always, the guys at Electron and ourselves, we meet weekly, and all the feedback and the improvements we look to make to the system, we take the feedback such as that as kind of our key driver. We're aiming to make ourselves much more simplistic to deal with, to remove the barriers for flex markets. So the type of feedback that we got on our breakout room was invaluable to us in terms of how Electron and ourselves look to develop the platform and its functionality moving forward. So I think they were the other interesting point that we made. We asked the question was, for those that don't know, we have kind of kilowatt hour threshold limits for tender participation. So in EHV and HV products, we're looking for 10 kilowatt, be it from a single asset or an aggregation of assets. On the LV side, we have a 5 kilowatt threshold. The question we asked was, would removing those thresholds improve participation? Now, it does mean more work for us, which we're kind of, we're fine with that. What we want to do is we understand that there's some traditional big players in the flex space, and there's also some startups, some newer organizations that might not necessarily have the volumes as some of the other guys. Therefore, if there's things that we can do to kind of get those, startups on the first rung of the ladder to help build their portfolios and improve participation in the medium and longer term, then that's a commitment that we could make to support that. So we had some interesting views in terms of lowering the threshold from 10 and 5 kilowatt, maybe down to 1 kilowatt, or even, no threshold. So that's something else that we discussed. So again, thank you all for the the openness in the group, and it'd be interesting to hear if there was any kind of pertinent information or feedback that came from the second group. So I'm not sure whether James or Kate, anything you want to report back that differs to what we've just gone through?
Kate, do you want to take this one?
Sorry, what did you say, James?
I was just saying, do you want to jump in?
Yeah. So we went through similar topics to Paul's room, and we kind of covered a lot of ground. We went through, again, like lowering the minimum threshold, and that seemed to be a very welcomed prospect. So that's something that we definitely will look at doing. And we just kind of explained why it hasn't been removed completely so far, but something that we're definitely looking to do. A few sticking points were kind of registering assets being too time consuming on the Electron Connect platform, and also just being able to easily identify which assets are eligible for participation in each tender. We did explain about our MPAN checker tool and how that's kind of on the way, and hopefully that will improve that experience, but unfortunately it isn't ready in time for our summer tender. So currently we're still doing that as a manual process. But yeah, in the meantime, before the tool is finished, we are happy to just, if you send us through all of your MPANs, we will manually check those for you, and then just let you know which MPANs are eligible. And then we also talked a bit about ED3, and it would be useful for flex providers to have a bit more notice of kind of our planned use cases for flexibility services. Apparently other DSOs are already publishing their forecasted use cases. So hopefully that's something that we can also make available soon for you, if that would help. And just in general, kind of having more visibility of forecasted requirements, because with our summer tender, it only goes out to 2028. So just having a bit more visibility of what our requirements might be in the next kind of 5 to 10 years, just to allow flex providers to plan accordingly. And yeah, just better visibility of those forecast requirements. And I think those were the main things. James, if there was there anything else you can think of that we covered?
Just one more thing springs to mind, and that was the new tool briefly showcased. There was interest in being able to use that on a bulk basis rather than one specific asset at a time. So that's something we can look into.
Yeah, and just kind of digitizing that a bit more in general, I think, in the future.
Yeah.
I think that was everything, but some really good conversation, and it was really, it was very useful for us to hear everyone's feedback and pain points so that we can sort of help to facilitate participation in future. And yeah, again, if there is any other feedback or questions that you have, please do get in touch with us at our flexible contracts mailbox after the webinar, and we'd be happy to follow up with you as well.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes left. Is there any questions from the room that perhaps we haven't gone through, that we anything that we missed, anything that you'd like to see that you've not had chance to raise, or just any general questions that you've got? So yeah, it's a bit of an open floor really now in terms of the audience and any feedback on today, or just more general. Yeah, please, Mithun, jump in.
Hi, Paul. A very quick question. So there are also these markets run by NISO, for example, the dynamic frequency response markets, etc. So I was trying to understand, would there be any scenario where the flexibility market will contradict with what the other markets that we will be participating in?
Yeah, it's a great question. That's a really good question. A lot of work has taken place, Mithun, in terms of understanding those contradictions, and also there's two aspects to it: where it contradicts and where they're compatible. So one of the key things that we've been working on with NISO, all the DSOs and NISO in particular, we were working on stackability. So what we mean by stackability is having a single asset that can perform, flexibility and deliver flexibility for NISO markets, for DSO markets. So what we've created is a particular tool. Again, it's on our website, where you can actually look at the different markets that are available in NISO that you might wish to participate in, versus the markets that they're compatible with in DSO markets. So you're looking, okay, well, if I've got an asset and I, don't want to just kind of keep it into NISO markets or DSO markets, where are they compatible? Where can I stack those revenues and extract revenues from each of those markets? So again, thinking about the asset owners, you're improving your kind of full stack development, if you like. So we can talk through that, Mithun, when we catch up. But yeah, we've tried to, first of all, identify those areas where there is no kind of compatibility between the two, versus where can there be compatibility, and really showcasing and making it visible. Look, if you've got assets in these markets, they can also play in this, or they can't play in this. So at least you've got a bit of a roadmap in terms of where that, where that asset. I mean, the kind of three themes you've got are kind of where they can co-deliver. So where you can co-deliver the same megawatt into NISO and DSO markets. You've got splitting. So say, for example, you've got 2 megawatt flexibility, putting a megawatt into a NISO market and then a megawatt into the DSO market during the same delivery window. And then there's a jumping aspect of jumping between different kind of time, half-hourly periods, if you like, jumping the megawatt between kind of those different time zones. So there's 3 kind of mechanisms of stacking the revenue, but yeah, we've tried to remove that as a barrier, because if someone says, well, we're getting more revenues from NISO markets, why would we play here? It's kind of not conducive to that kind of whole system benefit piece, which we're all looking to deliver across all the DSOs and NISO. But we'll pick up on that, Mithun. It's a good question.
That's good. Okay, thanks, Paul.
Any other questions? No, like I said, there's a few people that I'm going to reach out to following today's call. So I really appreciate you joining. So we will reach out and set some calls up with you. Be good to kind of give you a broader introduction into some of our flex services. This was kind of quite high level. Kate, please. Yep.
Sorry, I just didn't want you all to dash off. So sorry to interrupt you, Paul. We've just got another quick poll we just want you to answer. So we're going to launch it. It'll go in the chat. So just while Paul's finishing off, absolutely. It'll pop up on your screen, but it's also in the chat as well. So if you can just quickly answer that, that would be amazing. Thank you. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks, Kate. No, thanks, Kate. So again, yeah, I'm done. So really big thank you all for making the time to attend today. Hopefully we'll see you at our next one, potentially in person as well. If there's anything you need from myself or the team, please do reach out. We'd love to engage with you. We'd love to hear from you. But yeah, if you can answer the question that's on the screen, I suppose that's the key barometer of how successful the session was today in terms of the content and delivery. So, but yeah, I look forward to reaching out to the people. So Adam, Andrew, Mithan, Antonia, I'll be reaching out to you in the next day or so. Well, thanks again. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
good rest of the week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.